Hello. In this video, I want to look at the first derivative test. If a function f has a relative extremum at c, then c is a critical number or c is an endpoint of the domain. Okay, so c is either a critical number or it's an endpoint of the domain. So what this means is that when you find critical numbers, they may or may not be relative maxima or minima. The question is how do we know? Well, that comes from the first derivative test. Let c be a critical number for a function f. Suppose that f is continuous on a to b and differentiable on a to b, except possibly at c, and that c is the only critical number for f in a to b. If f of c is a relative maximum if the derivative of f prime is positive in the interval from a to c and negative in c to b, and f of c is a relative minimum of f if the derivative f prime of x is negative in the interval from a to c and positive in the interval from c to b. Now, this table here is much better to explain that. So basically, if you have a polynomial, or if you have a function that is, in this case, smooth and continuous on a to b here, then notice that this first derivative is positive because it's going up from left to right. And then at c, it's equal to 0 because it's horizontal, it has a horizontal tangent line. But then to the right of c, it's actually going down from left to right. So it changes from positive to negative. And as a result, there is a relative maximum at c. The same thing is happening here. It's just that at c, the derivative doesn't exist. That's because there's a sharp edge. But it's still positive to the left and negative to the right. In other words, it flips sign. For relative minimum, if it's going down and then back up, notice it's going down then up, so that has to be a low point there, which means that c would then be a relative minimum. Same thing is happening over here. C just happens to be to where it is not differentiable at c. Now, there are possibilities where a critical number is not a relative maximum or minimum. For instance, if it's going up from left to right on both sides. Same thing happening there. Or if it's going down. In other words, for a critical number to be a relative maximum or relative minimum, it has to change signs from one side to the other of it. Now, if it's going up and then down, that's a relative maximum, and when it's going down then up, that's a relative minimum. And that is really the first derivative test, and it actually really is fantastic. It makes everything honestly easy to do, or easy to deal with. Alrighty, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, and I will see you in the next one. Have fun.